Hey, we're getting more rain. We've got a thunderstorm on the way. You might can hear it. It's rained a little bit, but it hadn't poured down like it has in the last few days. You know, I'm not one to complain about the rain. I like it. We've got like 2.5 inches of rain over here on the rain gauge. I'll run out here and show you this to you real quick. So it's 2.5 inches of rain, and that's in the last 3 days that we've got this rain. And then we'll have even more because it's supposed to rain most of tonight. As you can see, the garden looks like a jungle. My sister came by today and I told her, welcome to the jungle. It is a mess out here. Everything is overgrown. I am waiting on these passion flowers to ripen up so I can share making some jelly with you. And it is just everywhere. We've got these passion flower blooms over on the driveway. Donald usually weed eats these down, but he said he didn't have the heart to do that because he wanted to see those grow. Now, I did see some passion flowers that have fell off here up under here. I'm not going to dig up there for them, but you can see right there is one, and when they turn yellow and fall off, that means they're ripe. So we're having a few ripen up, and it'll be time before we know it to go ahead and be making some jelly with those. I am barefooted. Yes, I am. I'm Appalachian. Go ahead and make fun of me if you want to. Go ahead and call me a hillbilly. I won't mind a bit. I love to be barefoot. We were grounding before grounding was ever cool, and it never bothers me a bit. For anybody to question how I've been barefoot most of my life. My mom was the same way. But I better get in because, you know, as being an Appalachian, we were taught a respect for nature and certainly a respect for storms. You can see on this tree over here, there's some yellow leaves. Fall is creeping up on us right now. Here near the end of August, well, it's actually the second week in August, but it is creeping up. It'll be fall before we know it. You can see the cloudy sky, hear the thunder rumbling. Hey friends, you're watching Much Ado About Something here, and we're out here in the garden today. It's a gardening work day. We've got a jungle out here, but it's time to harvest some of the passion flower fruits. And I've shown you the passion flower fruits before. You can see they're hanging right here. Well, they're starting to turn yellow, and when they start to turn yellow, it's time to harvest them. Had a little bug on this one. I'll have to open it and see if it's any good. But we're out here harvesting our passion fruit today. This is what we've harvested so far. And one of the key things that Donald he's out here doing is he's looking for when they've fallen off. Now there's some that's fallen off, and of course there's like a thicket right here. It's really thick. So he's going under there and looking to see what's ripe, what's yellow, and what has fallen to the ground. It was a good year for passion fruits this year. There are a lot of them. I tried not to wait too late to where something has ate on them or they're starting to decompose, but I also couldn't get out here too early. I had to make sure that they were ripe before I could pick them. Say that again?
I said they're just falling off. There's a couple more put in a basket. I'll go in here again.
Now if they turn yellow on the vine, you can certainly pick them off then, but they usually fall off when they ripen. That's one of the ways you know they're ripe. And then after these ripen, we'll go ahead and cut these down. They're all over everything. But it was a good year for fruit, a very good year for fruit. They're in a lot of different places. Donald's right, there's still a lot of fruit on the vine. We took the time to grow these beautiful things. We grow them for the flowers, the leaves, and the fruit. I make tea out of the flowers and the leaves, and we take the fruit and make jam and jelly. Well, mainly jelly, because we just extract the fruit from them. If you open them up, they're kind of like a pomegranate on the inside.
our grandparents used to call it? Pawpaws?
No, they're not pawpaws. Completely different.
No, okay.
They're maypops.
Maypops.
Your family called them maypops.
Yeah.
My family called them passion fruits. Some people call them pop pops. You can hear Donald stepping on one. You can hear the sound that comes from it. They make a pop.
Yeah, that one's on the ground down there.
So if you step on them, this is what you get.
They pop.
And I did a video on how to make passion flower jelly. And you can see that it's much like a pomegranate inside. There's a seed with fruit wrapped around it. That fruit wrapped around the seed is what you use in making the jelly. This one's almost ripe. Donald stepped on it. Right here are some leaves that I've gathered for tea, and they have some green passion flowers or maypops or several other names for them. But you can see right here, Donald's going to step on one and show you how they sound.
Might want to get a little closer.
You hear that loud pop? That's why they're called maypops. Some people call them pop pops. I have heard people call them pop pops. We always call them passion fruit. We're harvesting some leaves here for tea.
This ain't gelled out inside. This is still green, see?
Oh yeah, when they're too green, there won't be hardly any fruit in there.
When you make it like that, David, our grandson, if he gets them like that, he'll just sit there and pick them out and eat them. You know?
Yeah, he does. We've got a little grandson that loves to sit on the porch and eat these with Grammy and Grampy. They're really good. And there are some here that are a little green, and that's okay because they're high in pectin. And to me, they have a lot of flavor. You'll put some sugar in there and you won't even notice they're a little bit tart. It makes an excellent, unique jelly and makes a really good gift. Somebody that likes the unique and unusual. Now this is Virginia Creeper. I love it for its orange color in the fall, but this is one thing that you do not want to get into your harvested passion flower. I've got Virginia Creeper and passion flower growing together. If you've ever saw my video on how many vines I've got out here, you know I love vines, and I have a lot of vines in my gardens. Sometimes they grow in together since I've got such a small space, but one thing I'm very careful about when I harvest is not to mix anything other than what I'm harvesting. This Virginia Creeper would make your stomach hurt. It is not something that you would want to put in a tea. It's not something that you want to ingest. So I'm careful to not and get that included in my Passiflora incarnata, my passion flower fruit, when I harvest it. We're very, very careful. There's the pile of passion flower leaves that I'll be making tea out of. You can see it's all growing in here in my little middle garden. Quite a few things out here growing. Since it's time to harvest some of these fruit, we still got a little bit longer time to go on harvesting this fruit. But because it's time to harvest some of the leaves and fruit for the year, I wanted to share this with you. Now I will be drying these passion flower stems and leaves that I'm harvesting, and these flowers. I'm going to harvest some flowers because I've already got a lot of fruit. Now I'm leaving quite a bit because you know those bees absolutely love this passion flower. So I don't want to take too much from them. I can smell that sage. It smells so good. So I'll be harvesting a few flowers to dry, and the leaves that I've got harvested over here, I'll be drying those for tea today. And that'll be day 13 of the Every Bit Counts challenge.
Yeah, the way the passion plants grow, most of what we're harvesting is right here. This is where it's coming in right first. Over here to the right and to the front, those will probably be in within the next week or so, and then we've got some up here at the house that'll be in within a week or so.
Yeah.
But most all the ripe ones are right here.
Yeah, it's kind of like tomatoes. They don't all come ripe at the same time. They ripen over stages, you know. And so we'll be picking for a few months here. Do you like the passion flower jelly?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. That one's already fell. It's real soft.
Yeah.
I do like the passion
Now
flower.
I found that, you know, if you lay them out, they don't ripen anymore. So if we pick these passion flowers and they're green, they're not going to ripen anymore. I'll just use some green ones because, you know, that'll lend a little more pectin into it. But you can't lay them up and let them ripen. You kind of have to pick them when they're ripe. Donald's getting ones that have fallen off of the bush because that's a sure sign that they're ripe. And when they have that yellow color, the passion flower, the Passiflora incarnata, turns yellow when it's ripe. There are some passion flowers that turn red. They have a red skin on them, and you know they're ripe when they fall off of the vine. But these turn yellow. And so that's what we're harvesting today. And it's a pleasure to harvest them. And as we harvest the fruit and cut back some of the flowers, some of the leaves and flowers, I'm putting them in this pile right here. And this will be what I'll be drying for tea. I love passion flower tea. I have a friend that I share this with. He also loves it, and I'll be sharing some of this tea with them. It's a good relaxing tea. It's a great thing to add to your tea cabinet if you're into making and growing your own herbal teas. This thing, I think it has grown the most it's ever grown this year. This passion flower has the most fruit that I've ever harvested. And that's because of the hot days we had. It loves the hot days. And then the rain came at the end. And so that created a lot of blooms. And so there's a lot of fruit out here this year. These smell wonderful. They're a wonderful addition to your garden if you have the time and energy to keep them trimmed back. If you don't get to trim it back, like I did not get to this year because of the weather conditions, it was either way too hot or raining. And so I wasn't able to get out here and trim this thing like I normally do. And because of that, I have it everywhere. It's kind of taken over the garden, kind of like a jungle plant here. Here are the hanging baskets that I've got out here in the middle of the garden for beauty, and the Passiflora incarnata has taken it over. You can see the little fruit hanging all over the hanging baskets. It's grown up the little stand that we've got the hanging baskets on, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it a bit. There's a lot of work to be done out here today. We'll be working out here probably most of the day. There are weeds in here that we haven't got to pull out. And I'll be pulling some of these out, and we'll be cutting back and harvesting what ripe fruit we can get today. And I thought I'd bring y'all along with me because, you know, I want to share it with you. And I want to show you how to make the passion flower jelly. It's kind of a long process, so I'll just make it real short when I share that with you. And of course, I showed you where I leaned this trellis that I was going to use for the rose bush up against the porch, and lo and behold, this passion flower just thought it would grow. And look at the size of the fruit on that. That's huge. But it grew beautifully, and once it started, we didn't have the heart to cut it down. We thought we would just go ahead and let it grow and go ahead and harvest from it this year.